the last part of building things here is really about the platform. And I'm going to dive in a little bit about how we've configured this and where we think things are going for people to be able to be empowered. I talked a lot about the portions of this that are very self-service in terms of business decision makers, but I'm guessing a bunch of you have some fairly heavy integrations as well, where you have back-end services, where you have CRMs. Folks in here using off-the-shelf CRM? Anybody? Folks in here using a custom CRM or agent desktop? So we've got a few of those as well. So at Amazon, we use both. We have a number of different businesses doing different types of things, all the way from help desks that have maybe just a few agents, all the way up to that 70,000 scale. And we're integrating with all different tools. And so the first part of that from Amazon Connect standpoint is that contact flow engine or the contact flow editor I talked about, where you can go in and drag and drop and create the experience the customer has. But to get those great personalized experiences, you're going to have to make calls out to some back-end systems that are likely a few back-end systems, probably to a CRM, probably to some databases, and also, quite possibly, and in the future, almost certainly, business intelligence, where you're making decisions based on what you know about the customer, based on ongoing situations, and based on what you're predicting is going to happen in the future. And so all those things need to be integrated into that contact flow. My colleague mentioned Amazon AWS Lambda. Lambda is a tool that makes that super simple. Now, you do have to have some programming skills to use Lambda because you're going to be talking to a lot of these older systems, and they probably have quite a few different ways they want you to interface with them. But Lambda allows you to write a very small amount of code to do that, as opposed to setting up a big, heavy integration that requires setting up servers and having a back-end system running all the time. With Lambda, you only run the code when you need it. It's what we call a serverless architecture, which means you just write a few snippets of code that make the call out to that back-end system, and you can talk to virtually any back-end system immediately. And so when you want to know who is this customer, you make that call into your CRM, and it returns back the information you want, for example, their name, their phone number, when their last order was, who the last agent they talked to. You can bring all that stuff back and then use that directly in that drag-and-drop contact flow model I talked about. So instead of calling up and saying, hello, how can I help you, who are you, enter your ID, you can say, oh, I see this phone number, so I send that phone number out and I come back and say, oh, that's Pasquale, and oh, by the way, I know that I talked to him yesterday. I can even ask, hey, are you calling about the same issue you had yesterday? You can do all that because you have easy access to that information. And that's a big part of being able to change the whole mental model around how these bots are talking to your customers and how you're making their experiences much, much better, much, much more personal. Of course, if you hand off to an agent, that agent needs to be able to follow through and take care of that. And we do that through integration with the CRM or that agent desktop you have. So we have a very simple contact control panel that lets you plug directly into our CRM. We support the big guys you might know, Salesforce, Zendesk, a bunch of others, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But you also can do it in a custom one. We had one customer say they integrated our contact control panel, the thing that shows you the phone call coming in, allows you to accept it or decline it. They integrated that in less than a day. And so the point is, again, this velocity, this business velocity that you have to do things quickly is so key to the future because things change quickly, and you want to be empowered to make those changes quickly.